Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Warriors Walkoff here on HBC TV 25. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thank you for joining us. Today we'll lead off with softball and head coach Greg Jones. And so did anything exciting happen this weekend?
Yeah, it was kind of a big weekend.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, another NSIC title is exciting. You start the year and you're picked to win it, and you hope that that's not the kiss of death and that your kids can stay hungry and all that kind of stuff. And they've just continued to play better and better the longer the season's gone on. So it's been impressive to watch.
All right, I know you don't like to hear the numbers, but I have to give them in case anybody's watching and don't know the numbers, but it's the back-to-back NSIC titles. First time in program history that you've gone back-to-back, and it was the 11th perfect season in NSIC history. The previous best perfect season was 14-0. You guys were 30-0 in the NSIC this year. I mean, it's hard to wrap yourself around those type of numbers, especially since at the beginning of the season you were telling us you're still trying to figure out the team because you didn't quite get off to the start that maybe you would have liked. But once you hit that NSIC season, everything seemed to click.
It did, and the 30-0 is unbelievable to me. I kept saying all year, well, it just felt like we couldn't get far enough ahead of Augie because I just didn't think we would run the table. Nobody does that, not in this league. The league is too good, and there's 5 teams in the top 10 in the region in our league, and so to go 30-0 is kind of mind-boggling to me. But yeah, I think we needed some time to figure out our identity. I kept saying, come out of fall ball, the biggest thing I needed this team to do was get tough. And I didn't know what kind of toughness they've had, and that's what they've really developed. We developed a pitching defensive mindset, and that really took root, and then our offense took off, and the things blended together to get us on this streak.
What would you say your identity is? Because you have 2 of the top hitters in the NSIC in Laney and Allie, and you have 2 of the top pitchers in the NSIC in Jordan and Liz. And defensively, you're a really good team. Is there anything that you can kind of pinpoint as your identity, or is it just, I hate to say it, but perfection in everything?
Yeah, no, I think to me the identity is family, that they've really bonded together, and then those pieces of the game, excuse me, have bonded together as well. It really started out that we were leaning very heavily on our pitching and our defense. We couldn't hit the ball at the ballpark, and I thought that was what we were going to do offensively. Well, we have now. Yeah. It just took a while to get going. There have been some games that we've won even with great pitching. I still think we won it because of our offense, because our offense just wore the other team down, shortened a game that our pitchers were maybe not completely sharp. And it's just like that family unit that, you pick each other up, you've always got each other's back. So I just think all of those pieces came together. So our real identity has been our unity and our ability to win in different fashions.
Okay, well, we kind of gave away the ending as to how things went, so let's go backwards and go back to Wednesday against Wayne State, 2 wins there. Can you tell us what you remember from Wednesday's games?
Yeah, I think Jordan threw a no-hitter down there, kind of a big deal. And what was interesting was, Wayne was, going in was at the bottom of the league, and I didn't think we were very sharp. I think we played those games like we knew we were better than them. And what concerned me with our team was I knew it was going to get a lot tougher going forward, and I just didn't want them to flex their muscles on talent. I wanted them to play together and play hard and don't worry about the scoreboard and the standings. And I think they got that message and understood that, and we really came back together and kind of played our style this weekend. But at the same time, we really needed some games like that. We had been on the gas and on the edge for so long. We needed to kind of relax a little bit. We needed to remember how to have fun again. And we scored a bunch of runs down there, which was great. We throw a no-hitter, which was great, and got some wins.
All right, and then on Friday, Mary, and that was back at home. Tell us a little bit about those games.
Yeah, this is start to blend together now. And again, game 2, I thought we played a lot more loose than in game 1. I thought we really got tight in the middle of game 1. We got out to the early lead. We jumped up 5-0. And we went into the 4th inning, and it was like a switch flipped, and it should have been in favor of us. We're rolling. We're up 5-0, and I just thought we took the field anxious and tight. We gave up a couple of runs. They were playing with nothing to lose. We got out of that inning and then, kind of survived the rest of the game. We talked between games, and I think then they really loosened up and things went much better in game 2. I just think for a while there we were playing not to lose. And you had that feeling suddenly you were playing the streak, you were playing to win a championship, you were all the things that we don't want to do, and we don't talk about numbers and accolades and people and teams and all that type of stuff. But it's always there.
Yeah.
And suddenly I could feel that, and that they wanted to be doing better. They wanted not to mess this up, and the umpires mattered, and the other team mattered. And we kind of let all that go in game 2, and really game 2 and then the 2 games yesterday, we really played a lot more free and easy, I think.
So what was that like on Sunday? I mean, were the numbers there at all, considering that these are your last 2 regular season games?
I don't think so. I was really impressed with the team yesterday because, again, I get concerned about everything and all the minutia, and I thought, did we lose our edge now that Augie got beat? And now we'd already clinched a share on Friday. Augie gets beat on Saturday, so now we're already outright champions. There's nothing to play for. It's senior day. There's a lot going on. Man, did we lose our edge? And I thought we were more relaxed, more free, more spirited, had more energy than we'd had in 2 weeks. I thought yesterday was as relaxed and easy going as our team has been in a tight game, and then we just methodically pulled away from them, which was great.
All right, and then sandwiched in between all that, you had your 2009 reunion, which was one of your best teams, I guess, get to the World Series, and you had it was the first 50-win season for you. Tell us a little bit about how that reunion went.
Yeah, it was great to get those kids back. It was the 10-year reunion. We started talking about this a couple years ago, that we needed to honor that group. And so, it's hard because they're all over the map and trying to get them back, and so many of them came back. I think our entire starting lineup, except for one kid, was back. So we had a great turnout and got to see some of their families again, and so many of them now are married and have kids of their own, and so it was a great time Saturday to get together and be able to mingle with them, and then to be able to bring them back out on their field. And they were the first team to play on that field. 2009 was the first year we had a field. We got to host the regional and the super regional that year to go to the World Series. Great team. At that point, that was a school record, 50 wins. First time to the World Series. I love symmetry, and 10 years apart. That's a lonely number out there on the wall. I'd like to put another one up there with this group.
Well, coming up is the NSIC tournament. Last question for this segment. You were saying before you need to find new things to worry about. What are you worried about going into the NSIC tournament?
Well, I just worry that, it's been such a grind. It's been so hard. And now we got to play all these teams again. And you feel like, okay, we've done that. Can we just go play somebody else now? But the great part about the tournament, I always have to remind myself, we don't play all 10 teams. You might only play 3 of them. Everybody else is going to knock each other around. We just got to go play our game and not worry about who it is, and stay focused on ourselves. And if we execute and play our game and have great energy, we'll be fine.
All right, well, we're going to find out more about the team. Katie Kolb will join us right after this.
Your community matters. So does making sure it's well protected. Because Sally's isn't just a cafe, and Smith's isn't just a flower shop. It's years of hard work and investment.
Hey, new equipment looks great.
And in this moment, you realize your independent auto owner's insurance agent is the right person to protect it. Auto Owners Insurance.
WA Group in Winona is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
What's a Southern girl? It's waking up before the sun rises. It's loving the simple things in life, like the dirt roads that lead you home. It's working hard to get what you want. It's hanging your own stands, breaking your own ground, and strategizing every little move for that one moment when everything you've worked for is standing right in front of you. Even if I fail a million times, I keep pushing myself till I'm exhausted, filthy, and about to give up. And that's when the adrenaline hits.
And welcome back to Warriors Walkoff here on HBC TV 25. Katie Kolb now joins us. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
And I think last time that you were here, you were just coming off the NSIC regular season championship as well, so that's kind of a nice trend to have this back. What's it like to have the back-to-back titles this year?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, this team is probably my favorite team I've ever been a part of, and to do it with them is just really something special.
It's been fun to kind of follow this team on social media, seeing all the different posts from the players and the team itself and the university. And, Coach said, this team is family. Describe that. Tell us, why is this your favorite team to be on, and what is that kind of family aspect?
Yeah, kind of our motto is that we play for each other, and we talk about moving the line. So just knowing that if you don't get the job done, you have 8 other people in the lineup to get the job done. So I think that the team chemistry has really come together, and I do think that's helped us a lot on winning 30 games straight. So hopefully we keep that going.
All right, now you're kind of the table setter because you're the leadoff hitter, center fielder as well. And last year was, I think, the first year that you were the leadoff hitter. Can you tell us a little bit about, what that's like and what kind of pressure maybe you put on yourself to lead things off?
Yeah, offensively, we're kind of struggling this year, but I mean, just getting on base any way I can, having hitters behind me like Lainey, Allie, Alexis, just the big hitters to hit the ball out of the ballpark is nice, but it does help when like me and Kayla get on base for that to happen. So yeah, getting hit by a pitch, a walk, anything.
So what is that like for you to be the first pitcher or the first hitter to see what the pitcher has? I mean, do you tell the rest of the team what you saw in that first at bat?
Yeah, just seeing a lot of pitches is kind of my key thing to do, and then coming back and relaying the message to everyone else, but I don't think it's too big of a deal.
Okay. What did you see in Katie to have her be the leadoff hitter last year, this year?
Well, I think what she's talking about too, her ability to work a pitcher. I always call it, with Coach Tina, when we talk about Katie, we always talk about her professional at-bats. And she just works and works and works counts. And she's not afraid to hit down on the count. The other day, I don't remember which game it was, Mary maybe, her first 2 at-bats, she only saw 2 pitches. And it was, you're kind of standing there, everybody's like, what just happened? And I think she got out on the first 2 pitches in her first 2 at-bats. And which is just fine. I have no problem with that. We never really talk about changing that approach. But what she is so good at is lengthening an at bat and making a pitcher work and grind. And we're so left-handed heavy that now it really allows all of our lefties to see how they're going to work, our left-handers. And because we come with 5 of our first 6 hitters are left-handed, and they're going to give away all their secrets in the first at bat of the game.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the mood of the team, because as Coach Jones said in the first segment or even before that he kind of stays away from everybody because he's tense, but he wants the team to stay loose. What have you seen from the team and maybe even yourself before games this season with the 30-0 to try to put that behind you and stay loose?
Yeah, everyone just seems like moving in the right direction, in the same direction especially. But one thing that I'm trying not to be going towards is like the frustration part. I think as soon as you get frustrated, that kind of just ruins it all for you, and relaying that message to people who aren't hitting as well as they want to be hitting. So when everyone's just cool, calm, and collective, we do pretty well.
All right, as we've gotten towards the end of player interviews, we keep hearing about different superstitions that people have. Do you have any superstitions yourself?
No, not really. I think I would say I have some because the rest of the team has some, but yeah, no, not really.
Not really. Okay. Well, last year when we talked to you, we talked about your high school career, but we never really talked about how you got here to Winona State. So what was your decision to come here? What was kind of the tipping point to come to Winona State?
Yeah, I played with a girl in high school, Lexi Perez, who came and played here, and she was just a big role model I looked up to, and when I found out she was going here, I started kind of looking into Winona State, and it's been one of my biggest blessings, so I'm really glad I ended up here.
Had you ever heard of the school before that?
No.
No idea?
No.
Okay. Coming up, as we said, it's the NSIC playoffs. What do you have to do to be successful? What does the team have to do to kind of keep loose and maybe put some of the stuff behind that's happened already?
I think we just need to keep doing what we've been doing. Personally, I hope to be getting on base more, but for the team, I think just knowing that we did go 30-0, but that doesn't really mean anything going into the tournament. And like Coach Jones says, having to play these teams all over again, so just keep playing for each other, and I think we'll be just fine.
Now, I know that at the beginning of the season, the coach doesn't really tell you who you're going to play. It's just kind of the dates of the season, and then coming up here, it could be any of 4 teams that you're playing on Thursday. Is that difficult to not know who you're going to play heading into the day that you're going to play?
No, I like it better not knowing, because then when you do know, you kind of just think into things and think about games in the past when you did play them, so I think it's good not knowing.
All right. Well, good luck in the tournament this week, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to take a break here on Warriors Walkoff, and when we come back, we'll talk baseball with head coach Kyle Polk. That's right after this.
In this moment, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance that you do. What matters right now is the quality of your independent insurance agent.
Glad you're okay, Sarah. We'll take care of everything.
And the company that stands behind them.
Thanks so much for your help.
No problem.
Auto Owners Insurance. WA Group in Winona is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Follow the national circuit of the Pro Watercross Tour each week on Pro Watercross. It's not your average day at the beach. Featuring the best professional and amateur power sport athletes from around the world competing on the most beautiful beaches and venues in the USA, on some of the most challenging and technical race courses in the world. Check out the high-speed thrills of Pro Watercross weekdays at 9:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. on HBC TV 25.
And welcome back to Warriors Walkoff here on HBC TV 25. Time now to talk baseball with head coach Kyle Polk. And your team is kind of on a roll lately. Won 5 out of your last 6 games, dating back to that non-conference game against Augustana. Yep. What's the difference in the last few games that you played?
Well, we've done a better job offensively. Although 2 of the games this weekend, we kind of waited till late in the game to do it.
Right.
But we've been doing a much better job with our at-bats, guys in scoring position, and getting guys on to start the inning, and basically just executing better offensively.
All right, let's go back to Wednesday in the games against Upper Iowa. Aaron Mutter pitched a really good game and got 6-2, and then the floodgates kind of opened in Game 2.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that, trying to saving our bullpen because we used a lot of guys over the weekend before, and we knew coming up this weekend with Sioux Falls was a big key weekend. So if we could put a little pressure on them offensively, and not that you're ever going to say, well, let's get a 7-inning game, but try to push it to get that 10-run rule in 7 innings, and that would help out. So we did really good. We swung the bats really well down there at Upper Iowa, and that's usually a place that we struggle. And if you check the years, I don't know how many times we've split with them down there. Mm-hmm. But we did a very good job, and Aaron Mutter and Dylan Whitaker did a great job keeping them basically to a minimum.
Mm-hmm. And then, we had talked about the pitching situation, and Caleb was hurt last week. How's he doing?
He went in, saw the doctor, got an MRI, and I think they're looking to probably do they're going to have to do a shoulder surgery. Mm. I'm not sure if it was the rotator cuff or if there was something what they call slap lesions, but it's one of those. So it looks like he's probably going to have to go under the knife, and then we'll see if he can rehab. And the prognosis is he should possibly be ready to start doing stuff in February, and at that time we'll just try to get him ready for the conference season.
Sure. Okay. Let's go then to Friday in Sioux Falls, and you kind of had you had to switch some games because of the weather and the snow that was forecast for Saturday, which we kind of got, but not really because it didn't stick. Yeah. But let's talk about the Friday games first. You lost the first game, and then you got a walk-off win in the second game. Yeah,
and we did a very good job. The first game, defensively, we didn't play real well. We a routine bunt that should have been double play, we throw in a center field. Then our center fielder, Nate Loomis, who's just coming off an injury, hadn't played for a couple weeks, who's defensively is pretty good, misses one and then kicks it. So then 2 guys score instead of 1, and that really kind of hurt us and put us behind the 8 ball, and we just never got back together in that game. But we did a good job in the second game sticking at it. We got some good pitching. And our bullpen did, because Austin Savory, starter, struggled with command on that second game, but we were able to, with some of the guys out of the bullpen, fix that, kept us in the game, and we had a chance to win it late.
All right, and it was also your first 3-homer day of the season, so you're getting a little bit more power here towards the end of the year. Yeah. That's when it warms up a little bit. Sometimes the balls fly a little bit better, but yeah, we had I think we were all 3 lefties. Actually, the guest Mitchell Seager, he got his first one here, so. In our park, I like to say it's user-friendly for left-handed hitters, so and we took advantage of that. Now, the WSU spring football game was going on the other side of the field, in Maxwell Field, and I think we saw one of the balls go over onto the football field while the spring game was going on, and Tom Sawyer had to pick up the ball on the other side.
And then I think it was Mitch's that did that, and then it came flying back over on our side, so I don't know who threw it back over, but that we saw it, and we had to call time to stop there. So, but that they knew that, and we knew it. And there's not much we can do because of the weather forecast for Saturday. It was just an easy call to make sure that we played on Friday to make sure we get the games in.
All right, so then you take Saturday off because of the weather, and then Sunday you close out the series against Sioux Falls. You had to come back in this one, but win 6-4.
Yeah, we did a good job there. We pitched really well. Brett Herber, senior, did well for, I think, 5 innings. I think he gave up some runs in the 6th. But we did a good job sticking in it, and then in the 7th and 8th inning, we actually ended up being the same guys in order, getting on base early in the innings, and then our guys in the top of the order knocking them in and getting the runs and closing it. And then Nick Harold, who came in to replace Brett in the 6th inning there. He finished through the last 3 1/3 or 3 2/3, and he's been pretty much lights out. He's for us, so that was good to get him in the game and then finish it out for us.
All right, and then this was kind of a big weekend for Winona State with all the things that were going on, and you had a reunion this past weekend too. How did that go?
Reunion was good. We had, I think the number was about 60 plus guys, a lot of guys from the 60s and 70s. So a lot of these guys were guys whose names I recognized, but I hadn't been able to meet. So I got to meet a lot of those guys, put a name with a face. 70s guys, those were guys that were right before I got here because I came in the fall of 79. So I knew some of those. And then there were a bunch of the guys that were from the last 6-7 years that played for me were back too. So it was good. It was too bad we didn't have the games on Saturday. They can see and watch that because a lot of them came into town late Friday and then were leaving Saturday night. So I didn't really get to see a game. But it was a good turnout. It's good to get those people back here, get them engaged, see what the program's about, and then hopefully get them engaged in the future with us.
Do you have them talk to the team at all or have any messages?
Well, I had a few of the guys wanted to on Saturday, but we didn't play.
Right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, like a couple like Joe Cabrera and some of those recent guys who
yes,
they would have loved them to talk to the team and stuff. So, but no, it didn't work out this year. But in the future, sometime maybe we might work on that and see if that can happen. But it's the last 2 years, Alumni Weekend. Last year got wiped out completely because of snow, and then this year the Saturday games got moved and stuff. So we're hoping next year it's different, or else we might not have an Alumni Weekend anymore.
All right, coming up, you have the last home games of the regular season and the last overall games in Mankato. And these are kind of pivotal games for you. You have a little bit of cushion to get into the NSIC tournament. How do you handle this week going into trying to save that cushion? Well,
we talked about on Sunday when we left, because we didn't have practice yesterday, and we'll talk about it again today, that most important game is game 1 tomorrow. We got to play that and play it to win. And then after that, then we'll worry about game 2 and 3 and 4. But if we take care of business, play like we've been playing, getting the good pitching tomorrow that we've had, and then just continue to execute offensively, I think we should be okay. But the key is to win game 1 tomorrow.
Oh, and then the last thing too, you honored your seniors as well. Tell us a little bit about, in the last minute here, what those seniors have meant to this ball club.
Well, those guys, there are 4 pitchers, and Garrett Meninga, who's basically a student coach for us, he hurt his arm early in his career, so he wasn't able to, wants to be involved in athletics and talked about doing some stuff with scouting for baseball, but he's actually getting an internship with the Packers this summer and whatever. But the other 3, Parker and Watzke, have been mainstays in our bullpen the last 2 years for sure. We kind of scrambled early figuring if we want Parker as a starter or relief guy, but he's able to recover pretty easily, so he's been a great guy in the bullpen. Jacob, same thing out of the bullpen. Consistency with everything as a starter for a long haul, probably not for Jacob, but as a bullpen guy, he does really well. And then Brett's been, he came in as a freshman, did really well, part of his sophomore year, but he's really recovered this year and has had some really good outings for us and done a great job. And what they are, they're great leaders and role models for our young pitchers, and to see how hard work and that stuff pays off.
And then you're able to get the win on senior day too.
Yeah, so. Exactly. So it was a good weekend. Actually, all 3 of the seniors. Watzke pitched on Friday, the game that we lost, but he kept us in the game, didn't give up any runs, and then Parker got the win on second game on Friday, and Brett, I don't know if Brett wouldn't have got the win, but he would have. He was in the running to do that. So.
All right. Well, let's take a break here on Warriors Walkoff. When we come back, we'll get the player perspective. Mitchell Seeger will join us right after this.
In this moment, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance that you do. What matters right now is the quality of your independent insurance agent.
Glad you're okay, Sarah. We'll take care of everything.
And the company that stands behind them.
Thanks so much for your help.
No problem.
Auto Owners Insurance.
WA Group in Winona is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Be sure to check out US Golf TV, where you are going to see golf products that you have never seen before. You're also going to see golf tips from some of the leading instructors around the country that are truly changing the way people are teaching the game and challenging the status quo. Also, you're going to see fitness tips that are revolutionizing the way PGA Tour pros are training their body and swinging the golf club. If you want something different, if you're looking for some new information, US Golf TV has it. Be sure to check your local listings. US Golf TV, we've got you covered.
And welcome back to Warriors Walkoff here on TV 25. Mitchell Seeger now joins us, freshman outfielder for the Warriors. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We always like to go back to your high school days just to kind of introduce you to everybody, and you don't have to go back very far. But you had a very good career in Beloit at Turner High School. What are some of the highlights of your baseball career?
I would say probably my biggest highlight is probably going to state because just the competition there is incredible and the game moves at a pace that, many high school players haven't seen before. So being able to go there and get that competition and learn a new speed of the game was probably my favorite thing.
It was amazing to look at your stats in high school. Your senior year, you hit .614. Can you explain that? Are you seeing the pitches well? Are you seeing the rotation on the ball? How do you hit over 600?
I talked junior year with another man down in Janesville, Wisconsin, and he talked about my contacts. I actually got a new contact prescription senior year, and he somehow correlated that to me seeing the ball better, hitting it better. So I guess I'll give it to my contacts for that one.
All right.
We'll get new contacts for next year.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I want to ask about, there was a crazy doubleheader that you played against Evansville. I think the newspaper article I saw said it took about 26 hours to complete because you started a game on Tuesday. It was called because of darkness. You resumed the game on Friday, and then you had this huge game on Friday that you had to finish the doubleheader about. What do you remember from that?
So for that game, that was at home at Turner, and we have no lights there. So when the game started to get late, it would get dark out. We couldn't see the ball in the air, and I came in to pitch. I actually balked in the tying run on third base, and it was too dark to play. So they moved the game to the next day, where we were playing in Evansville, where they had lights and everything. And I had to come in the next day because it was still the same game, so I could still pitch. And I threw an inning and ended up scoring the winning run.
Very good. Wow. One of the other things about your senior year, you're also 6-0 on the mound as a pitcher, as well as hitting over 600. So kind of a question for both of you. What's the decision then to be an outfielder here in college and maybe not explore pitching?
I don't know. Outfield has kind of been my go-to thing. I feel like I'm fast enough to cover enough ground out there, and pitching out, I feel like I don't really have the arm strength for it. But I don't know, maybe with a little workout, I could maybe get some innings.
We can always throw that in the back, for next year or whatever. But his versatility, being able to play the outfield, all three positions, kind of trumps that because he's been played. I don't know if he played right field yet this year. Yeah. So he's played all three spots, left, center, and right. And his arm strength is good because I think he leads our outfielders in assists, throwing guys out and stuff. So. But we always have that in the back of my head, those guys that were dual guys in high school. If we get into a situation where we're running low or whatever, I'll hey, go down and warm up. We may need you for an inning or whatever. And that's always in the back of my head.
All right, let's talk about the transition then from high school to the college game. What differences have you seen between the two levels?
Definitely a change of pace. Game is much faster, a lot more competition. Everyone's just flying around trying to make plays. Everyone's playing as hard as they can. Everyone's focused. It's just a whole new level of play, and I'm just taking it all in.
All right, as Coach Polk alluded to on Friday, you got your first home run of the season.
I did, yep.
What were the emotions for that? What was that like?
There was a lot going on. I hit it, and I kind of knew it was going out, but with the big wall, I wasn't completely sure. And as soon as I saw it go over, I was like, I can't believe I actually just did that. Like, I'm a freshman. This is crazy. And just being able to tie the game with that one swing was very nice, and I was just happy for that.
All right, last weekend of the season, or last week of the regular season, what do you guys need to do to be successful and get in the NSIC tournament?
I think the boys just need to focus like we know we can, stay dedicated, have nice approaches at the plate, like KP always tells us, and yeah.
That's about it.
That's about it. Stay focused.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and good luck the rest of the way.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for watching here on Warriors Walkoff. We'll see you next week here on HBC TV 25.